Consider this. A cast member does not make the final decision as to what stays in or what's left out and what's edited and so forth and so on. But if it is your show, your podcast, if you're the producer behind it, whatever, then you have decision-making power. If you have the final say-so, whether the person who is committing the offense, so to speak, wants it left in or edited out, if they are apologetic or ashamed or not, you have the choice and the decision as to what actually makes it to the air. And that is whether it's a radio show, a streaming show, or whether it's on network television. Do you all, as a viewing and listening audience, ever hold the decision makers responsible for controversial things that actually make the air, like a black person being called a monkey or assault allegations, as much as you hold the person responsible for it after the fact? And the reason I'm asking that is because had the people who are in charge just edited this stuff out or prevented it from airing or re-airing or whatever, we never would have even known about it to be offended by it. You understand what I'm saying? Or we wouldn't have the ocular and verbal proof of it being said. We would at best just have word of mouth that something took place or occurred if another cast member decided to speak on it on their own personal social media and things of that nature, which oftentimes does not have the reach and the power that something being aired on the main platform would. So in situations like this, because I see a lot of reactions going on, do you ever hold the decision makers in power responsible for things and give them the same amount of smoke that you give the person who the words actually left their lips? Also, just curious, with the uptick of the way that your preferences and your faves are out here raking you all through the coals now, as they have been for the duration of your existence in this country, when things like this keep happening, does this ever change you all's opinion or your actions in who you pedestalize and who you give a free pass and who you always give the platform and give the voice to be able to say these things that end up harming you or hurting your feelings? Yeah, food for thought. So since I know you all really don't want to talk about the last question, just concentrate on the first one. At what point is a network like VH1 or like the Joe Budden Network more responsible for what actually makes it to the public's ear gate and eye gate, or equally as responsible as the person who's actually saying the things that people will find controversial or offensive? Does any part of you, especially when now Joe Budden has come out and said, I stand by Melyssa 100%. So he's in support of what she said and what she did. But it's certain people's content that I refuse to intake, even if it's just for research. So, but I know that my timeline was flooded and inundated with her just being, I'm so churchy, but sat down recently for something else that she said or did. But the fact that he is 10 toes down with her on this, as the headlines are reporting, do you take that as a win is a win and there's no such thing as bad press? As long as I'm getting ears and eyes and the controversy is benefiting me financially, I don't care who gets maimed in the process. Because I think that just like with VH1 and airing those comments that Erica Mena made, I think that ultimately in the do anything for clout age that we're in right now, I really think that more so now than ever at any point in time in history, people will take negative press and backlash over not being noticed. But my question is, on a huge platform with a lot of following and eyeballs and ears where you're going to be noticed anyway, is the controversial and or offensive things, especially if it can land you in litigation, is it worth it?